Welcome to the Cresco Wealthcast. My name is Dimitri Korolis. I'm the host of the pod, and I'm also an advisor within the Cresco Wealth Management team. Just want to say a quick thank you to all of you that continue to support and follow the channel. I appreciate you, and of course, welcome back. And if this is your first time to the podcast, thanks for stopping by, and I hope you enjoy. At the Cresco Wealthcast, the inspiration was very simple. I wanted to bring topics that were derived from real conversations, and I wanted to do it in a way that was relevant and relatable to you. And a lot of the conversations and the content that you're going to hear, it's coming from clients, it's family, it's friends, it's just being out and about and having those real conversations. Nonetheless, I hope you enjoy, but before I let you go, just want to let you know you can find us on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Just search at Cresco Wealth Management. Until then, enjoy the pod. Oh, and by the way, that music you're hearing, that's Pete Ems. He's one half of Small Town DJs, and it was nominated for a Juno Award. He's on the team. No big deal. Okay, I want to welcome everyone back to the Wealthcast. We have a little bit of a different podcast today and a bit of a change up. We have a couple members on the team, both advisors in Chris Durno and Jennifer Williams. Now, I talk to them enough on a regular basis, but the reason we called them in is because there's a couple bits of good news on their part. They have been awardees for the Wealth Professional Canada magazine in excellence, and specifically congratulations to Chris Durno, Canadian Advisor of the Year, and Jennifer Williams, Advisor of the Year, Alternative Investments. One thing to say that a lot of these awards specifically are predicated on the nomination basis, industry cohorts voted on. So to a degree, this came to a bit of a surprise. Is that fair to say? Chris, we'll start with you.
Thanks, Dimitri. Really excited to be part of this podcast, first and foremost. It's been a few years to get this invite, so thank you.
Hold on, technically you were part of the Wellington one, so this is number 2 for you.
Okay, fair.
Right?
Fair.
Jenny's been on lots of times.
This is only my second.
Yeah, really excited. It's a tremendous honor to be nominated by my clients and industry professionals to receive this award. Or this nomination, I should say, and it's more than personally being nominated. It really goes towards the team being nominated at this point in time. So it's really excited for the group at Cresco.
Yeah, Jennifer, same question goes to you. Did this come as a bit of a surprise your way?
Yeah, it was a surprise for being nominated in the alternative category. Definitely, I did have to click on the category and really educate myself on what that category entailed too, because our portfolios aren't full of a huge portion of alternatives, but I think a big part of it is how we educate clients around alternatives. They used to be a sort of scary part of a portfolio where it was just accredited investors and private, thought to them as only for a certain type of investor. But today, there's a lot of ways that you can have solutions for clients around using alternatives, which we do at Cresco.
I like it, and each of you have touched on something that I think is very important. And again, I'll go back is when I asked the question, and this is for the listeners right now. When I asked the question, did this come as a surprise? Is I said it at the top. This is not something that we went in and actively sought out. This comes in an email, and we got to pay homage to Vicky Wells, who does the marketing on our team as well, that is actively involved in keeping up in these awards programs. But this is something where they actually emailed her and said, hey, this is what's going on. You've been nominated by other people. So the first thing, Chris, I want to go to you. You brought up the team and how important it is that said, yes, this was an individual award. However, it's representative of the team. Why don't you take us through what that means to you?
Yeah, we built Cresco over the last, I've been involved now for 13 years here with the group, and Dean's been going for 27. And really from the onset, our focus has been building the group and providing a full suite of services to families that we work with. And from day one, when we sit down with a potential client, we talk a lot about and about the team and the people behind the scenes. They keep our heads above water 99% of the time. So the importance of having those people, of having that team, of having that group of professionals is paramount. And certainly I wouldn't be here and without that support as we move forward.
Yeah, and Jennifer, you touched on something really cool as well, and you touched on the fact that finding solutions for clients in the first thing. And why don't you take us through what you're looking at and why that's important too?
Yeah, I think finding solutions is probably, for the families we work with, really brings us a lot of our newer relationships, right? Because we are outside the box thinkers and finding those unique solutions really from looking at an after tax perspective and how we can help families. When we are looking at things, we want to look at the total wealth picture, right? Not just the portfolio. And as to the point that Chris was making, that we really, all these awards, it's a big reward for our team, not just us as individuals, because when we are having our weekly meetings, we might be the messengers that are bringing the solutions, but there's a lot of due diligence that goes into that with our other meetings, whether it's our investment committee, whether it's us talking to our professional network, whatever it is. And the team does a lot of work in the background, right? When we're having our calls with clients and meetings with clients, there's a lot of prep that goes into that. And so it's, as I say, it's us that maybe is there as the messenger and as the advisor and individual, but there's a lot of us that are touching on that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll flow back, and Chris, I want to ask you this question starting here is, and for those that don't know, you are one of the partners here within Cresco Wealth Management, and why don't you take us through, and Jennifer, that's why I say it's piggybacking off your point, why don't you take us through what does it mean to actually build out a team? Why? People can say, yes, we have a team, maybe you have one or two individuals, but we have a significantly large team. There's a reason why we build that out and why we're looking, as you said, Jennifer, to all these other areas to find solutions. So why is it important, Chris, to build out a team that way?
Yeah, many years ago, we wanted to be able to control the experience from the initial conversation through the relationship, and certainly finding some of those professionals, and there's some great people out there, and finding a way to incorporate them into Cresco was critical to the growth of the business moving forward. And so we spent a lot of time finding the right people, building out that team to get to a point where we are today of 16 team members. It's been a journey. We continue to bring on a few new relationships each year, but we never want to do it at the detriment of the families that we're working with. So we continue to over-invest in the business to make sure that the families that we work with are more than looked after through this process.
Yeah, Jennifer, what makes us different in your view?
Well, I do think it's the solutions we do find.
Yeah.
But I think also what makes us different is it's the recipe that goes into what we're doing. So we're really looking at all the pillars of what we're offering. So whether that's providing that high level of service that we provide, whether it's the portfolio management piece, whether it's our planning piece, the financial planning piece, or the behavioral, right?
You're very big on the behavioral piece. Maybe spend a second why that's really important to you.
I love the behavioral side of the business and the coaching side of that, because a lot of errors can be made to a plan if we don't help clients and families stay on track, right? We're not just doing a plan, putting it together. What are the goals? How do we get there? If we don't have a solid plan in place, if we make some of these behavioral, there's a lot of news today. And it's just going to get louder. We're going to get that information quicker. However, we get my phone's buzzing, your phone's buzzing. So how do we make sure that we aren't making some behavioral mistakes? And I think if we have that solid plan, there's less of a chance of that happening. So part of what we use is alternatives towards that. So, we look at volatility as an asset class, and we will use some strategies around that, which are, can be considered alternative strategies, which navigate through that volatility.
Yeah, I like that. Chris, you had a point.
I was just going to add on to that, Jenny, and Dimitri and I sat together in a meeting this morning, and we were discussing with a client, just over the last 5, 6, 7 years about, some of the geopolitics that have come into play, and how important it's been to have a steady hand through that. Whether you look back to COVID or inflation or wars, presidential assassinations. I mean, these are in the last 4 to 5 years, and through all of that and the volatility, portfolios specifically here at Cresco have continued to really grind higher over that time.
Yeah, and it's funny because that conversation, how quickly it went as we were talking about that, and then it started going, I maybe made an error of judgment here, or I shouldn't have done this, or reacted too quickly, or I was the talk of the office 2 days ago, but a day ago I'm hiding. And I was thinking about that as Jay was saying it too about this morning. That's funny you bring that up, Chris.
Well,
and I was there, and he's not sharing his award with me. I just want to make it clear.
The team award.
Yeah. The team award. Well, and that's part of our service schedule, right? I mean, we have a dedicated service model. So we are making our calls. We aren't just, if something's going on in the world, going to hide under our desks, We are making those client calls, and part of it is so that we're the first to know about anything, whether it is those fears or it's a goal change. Life changes too. So we really want to be the first to know about things and find those solutions. And we always say too, the best decision is the most informed one too.
What makes a good, these are advisor led, I know it's team, but what makes a good advisor?
Being trustworthy.
I like that.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a list. I mean, we could go down.
Yeah.
I mean, that's probably at the forefront, Jenny, no doubt. Caring, understanding. I mean, it's no different than a lot of the relationships, interpersonal relationships we might have, or spouses or partners.
Yeah.
But it's that honesty, it's that trust, it's that picking up the phone when things aren't great and explaining what's going on and where we're coming from and how we've protected or positioned to withstand those types of situations.
And what are the things that we can control, right? We can't promise on the things that we can't control, but we can navigate through them.
Yeah, talk about the service schedule really quick. That's a good point. I think that's one thing that does separate us in terms of everyone can say, oh, I deliver service, or you should work with us because we will have a white glove, high delivery of service. But what is it in your opinions makes us different from anyone?
Yeah, again, I reiterate back to the big team, and we don't work with a lot of families, and that's intentional. Having a team of 16, having a service team, effectively of 10 or 11 individuals, and making sure that there is a lot of regular touch points, that that one member of the team is talking to this individual every month or two, depending on travel and work commitments by the families we work with. But we want to be in front of those individuals because I think, Jenny, you alluded to it. Life happens, things change, and we want to be at the forefront of that when there is a significant life event or change. Oftentimes, clients will call in when they're buying and selling a new house or changing of jobs, but it's our job as advisors to ask those leading questions if we start to feel that that there is a personal change in direction or spend or lifestyle, and that's part of the reason why it's not just me and Jenny and Dimitri having those conversations. It's the full administrative team. It's Sharon's picking up the phone, Emily, Pamela are picking up the phone and talking to the clients that we work with to understand their personal situations.
Yeah, that's a good point. And I say, one thing that I love that we do here at Cresco is we have geared the practice towards servicing all aspects of wealth management as best we can under one floor. And the less you send people out, the more you know about their personal lives. And these awards again, and congratulations, to reiterate them: Canadian Advisor of the Year, Chris Durno, Advisor of the Year, Alternative Investments, Jennifer Williams, on the Wealth Professionals Canada Magazine Excellence Awardees. These are individual representative awards. It is as good as the team behind it, so I like that we pay the homage to it. Jenny, I do have one question for you. You are now a 2-time award winner. Which one means more, alternative investments or the championship pickleball trophy that you and I have have seamlessly procured the other day.
Well, the next thing I'm going to do here is see if they have a mixed league that we can maybe spend some of our lunch hours at, seeing how we can take down some Livingston, other industry people. But no, I think that was a fun team building event too, right? When we talk about relationships, we want to make sure that our team relationships are great too, because we get in here, we put our heads down, work starts right away, and we all take it very seriously, and our days fill up, right? But we're productive. It's because we're so productive with our days. But for us to get out of the office and play pickleball was really fun. And
Chris, how did it feel to lose? I mean, you were a former professional athlete, and I feel that how does it feel to be on the other side of the boards?
Yeah, I felt a little blindsided. I wasn't able to properly prepare or stretch. I had to actually wear my work clothes.
I was going to say, is it because you were in your work clothes?
Yeah, and then on the other side of the court, I look over and Dimitri's wearing no sleeves on his shirt, and frankly, that was a little bit intimidating. So, I mean, there's a whole list of reasons, but my partner was great, and I certainly didn't do enough.
Yeah, there we go. I love it. Well, this is a lot of fun. I can't believe I've only had you a couple times. We'll do a lot more of these, but no, I appreciate you guys stopping by here in the office. Again, congratulations, not just to you two, but congratulations, to the rest of the team that helps make everything happen. I'd be remiss always every podcast to say, if you have directed questions for Chris and Jennifer and or the team, all things that we operate, everything is in the bio. Have all the information and links in the bio as well. But thanks. It's fun.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dimitri.
Hope you enjoyed the episode, everyone. Thanks for stopping by. Please feel free to leave your comments, or even if you want to let me know topics that you think I should be talking about. You can find us on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Just search at Cresco Wealth Management. And last but not least, if you want to be up to date with our newsletters, our insights, and even our events that we host throughout the year, you can reach out to me directly. It's pretty simple. You can just go to our website, find me from there, CrescoWealthManagement.com. Thanks again, everyone.